Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Today we're going to work on an older reel. Rich brought me several reels, but most of them were lever drags, and all of a sudden he brings this one in. This is the Bache Brown Masterreel. It's a 1940s, 50s version. It's actually made by Airex Corporation, a division of Lionel, which means that's the 50s. From what I understand, Bache Brown initially had a French design, and they were a distributor in the U.S. And then when the reels became difficult to come by, they basically just took their design and manufactured them locally. And I think there may have been a patent dispute or something that went along with it. But at any rate, this is the master reel, and it looks a lot like a Mitchell 304, at least physically, but it's not internally. And Rich asked me to tune it up. He says he still uses it. Fantastic. Still works. Yep. And we'll just take it apart. We'll show you how it's made, and we'll show you how to tune this up if you have it. Looks like somebody took a shot, literally a shot, at painting something here. It's on here, and it's also on the drag adjuster button, but that has no effect whatsoever on the working of this reel. Half bale. Half bale generally was made before 1954. There was a patent out there. I believe it was called the Hardy patent, but I could be wrong. But there was a patent for a full bale, but prior to that patent expiring, the half bales what was used as an alternative. So I'm going to guess that this reel is late 40s, early 50s, and it still works, and Rich still uses it. Notice we do not have an anti-reverse in this reel. This reel is powered by you in terms of fighting the fish and the anti-reverse, and if you need to let a line out, just get your hand out of the way, the fish will pull it back. So there you go. All right, let's take it apart, show you how it's made, service this thing, and get it out. There's not much going on the top here. There's a drag adjuster up top. Then there's something that I saw in a lot of the Ocean City reels. It's kind of a rubber center to this, as opposed to a drag stack. And the drag adjuster button is going to push down on that. It's going to expand, and it's going to slow the spool. So usually these are a little tough to get off. That didn't come off too bad, but you can see that there's a wide circle here, and that's your spool. And here's that, I said rubber, it might be plastic, I'm not quite sure what it is. But at any rate, when you push down on that, it's going to expand inside this cavity, and that's going to give you your drag. You got butterfly wings here. That's actually the trip for your bail. I opened up the bail for the to remove that spool, and you can see how that little trip is going to hit that, and it should close it, and it does. It just closes it like that. So you don't have anything to do up top here in terms of servicing. Just make sure everything's working well. And what you can do is you can put a drop of oil on, and I've just been thanking Dennis from North Carolina, who sent me a little container of Lucas Oil Products Inc. fishing reel oil. He asked me to give it a try, so the projects I've been working on this week I've been using for that, and we're going to just test it out here. So Lucas, I know from the automotive products. I didn't realize they made a fishing reel, but they do, fishing reel oil, and we'll use it. Okay, let's take the handle off next. That comes off in a clockwise manner. There's a little kind of a spoke there, and that's sort of reminiscent of the 308 Mitchell, not the 308, the 304 Mitchell. 304? I'm going to get myself confused now. The small one that looks like this. Too many Mitchell 300 numbers in there. All right, there's 3 side plate screws, and I'm going to believe that everything's just going to pull right out of this. There's a little collar under here. I don't think I need to remove the rotor to get that off, but let's go see. Always kind of interesting. I haven't worked on one of these in a while. You'll notice that I'm wearing a glove to protect my hand. You'll also notice that I'm putting all my pieces into a parts tray, which is the bottom of a milk jug, and that's just so that I can locate them later. Hopefully this just pulls off now. It does. Okay, so there's a little lever action here that you're going to use to take that off. This is a 2-pronged, I believe, into a crosswind block, so we should be able to pull that out. It's kind of a la the Mitchell kind of look. And let's see, that looks like that's a stud that embeds in the bottom of the case there. So let's see if I can pull that out. And then I believe this next piece is actually screwed into the shaft. I use a little micro pliers. There's probably a little ratchet that you can use. I just don't think I have something that small. Yeah, this is turning now, so I believe that's screwed in. Let's see if we can kind of hold it, turn it, and kind of make it work that way. I want to be careful. It does have a pinion on it, so you little carrier, so you don't want to bugger up that shaft. So just be light about it if you're using a pliers like I am. There you go. So that's the screw that comes out, and we should be able to move the main shaft. And then I suspect that if I just work on this, I probably have the nut carrier, but there's nothing really here. So I'm just going to leave that alone. Sometimes it's just better judgment to leave something like that than kind of play around with it. I just want to make sure that I have a clean axle shaft, that I have lubricated the pinion gear on this. So we're going to use fishing wheel grease on the pinion gear. I'm going to use Penn Precision Reel Grease for that. This is nice and clean. Rich is taking care of this reel. I'm just going to continually rotate this while getting a nice amount of grease onto there. The case is clean. If it wasn't clean, you could do what we did with some of the other things. You can use penetrating oil as a general degreaser, as a solvent. And when you use that solvent, then you can break up any dried or old grease. In this case, this is in good condition. Like I said, Rich takes care of his reels, so I put a light coating of grease onto that. I'm going to put this right back in. Then we're going to try and reseat that little screw. And as we do this, we want to turn as much of it by hand as we can. As I mentioned, there's a micro nut kind of thing that would attach to it. I don't have that little socket with me. I imagine at the plant they probably used a little nut driver or something. And I imagine it's metric. I'm just going to grab my pliers and the side of the nut now. I'm not grabbing the shaft. I'm just going to tighten it down. Very few moving parts in this reel. That's, to me, simplicity always wins. Okay, we've got that tightened down. Now I can grab that little collar again. It's going to be where the crosswind block rides. I'm going to get a little bit of grease on there because we know it's going to be going up and down, and this is going to spin. And I can grab the piece that we took off for that. This has got two little kind of dimples in it that's going to hold it in its track. And we've got the open hole here, which is going to be for the attach. And I think I want to, at this point, I want to put a little bit of grease in there into the track here where it's going to be riding. Stop then. There you go. All right. Turn our attention to this side then. Push the main gear out. All right, we do have a, oh, interesting, that must be a click, but there's no way to access that. Isn't that interesting? Look on this side, we do not have a lever there. We have the old grease, that's why you want to take care on this. And now we can use that penetrating oil to get that old grease out of there. Let it sit for a moment, and you can generally wipe it off. I'm just using a paper towel. And that's a click ratchet up there. You want to get that old grease out of the way because old grease will bog performance. So take your time, get it done right, clean it up and get it ready to go again. that was easy enough. Back of the case is dead clean, there's nothing there. So what we want to do is just clean the face of this then, which is going to ride where that crosswind block is. Again, we'll give it a quick shot of that penetrating oil just to loosen some of that old grease, and we'll use that paper towel. Now, if it was more stubborn, you could use a kitchen scrubby, you could use a piece of steel wool. Do what you like here. But in this case, the paper is best, and I always find out if you can work with a less abrasive piece, then that's all the better. All right, we're clean there. Check all of the teeth, make sure that they're uniform. Now, when we tested this reel, this was fine. There was no indication of any warped main gear or any broken teeth or the like. So we're just going to come back in and get that greased up again. I'm using an artist's brush to put that on. It's one of several ways that you can do it. Some folks like those acid brushes that plumbers use, and some folks like to stay away from brushes because the little hairs get trapped every now and then. Whatever works for you. Get grease onto the face because that's going to be sliding in that hole here. And we want to get grease onto this back shaft here, which is going to be riding in that bushing. Alright, so my guess on this one is that we have to do a short rotation because of that little click. That little click isn't working. So I guess that just gets set to the off position there. And I guess there is no override on this one. So there you go. So it just stays in the off position. Wonder if we turn that over. I'm kind of surprised that we don't have a way to adjust that. There's probably a way, I just don't know about it. Nope, we're just going to leave that off. If anybody knows how that thing operates, let me know. I'm always finding that curious. Alright, we got the assembly back together. We noticed as we did this that it slides down. So I'm going to put that stud all the way in the bottom. Then you kind of come in on it from an angle, and then you try and get the stud lined up with the crosswind block. And if we've done that properly, not quite locked there. We're not under the case. There we go. Yep, that's what I like, that little pop there. We'll go ahead and do that, make sure that our main shaft is spinning. It is. We can go ahead and put those 3 pieces in here. The side plate screws are all the same, so it doesn't matter which way you put them. And because they're triangular, it doesn't matter which one's tightened first, second, or third. I just want to start at the top here because that is under the bowl there, so I just want to make sure that those line up okay. So this reel leaves us with a couple of questions, like how that anti-reverse or click mechanism works up there. I don't have an answer to that. I don't see any indication that there would be a flip switch on there, so if anybody does know that, let me know. And we do know how the drag washer works. That's a pressure type of an event there. This is probably what got sprayed. I'm looking at the rub off on the handle here. My guess is that somebody just had it in the down position here, hit it with a spray can, it sprayed over there, and I'm not quite certain how it sprayed onto the drag adjuster, but it did. And those things happen. These reels have stories to tell. It's kind of one of the reasons why I like working on some of these older reels. Okay. Oh, Rich, you're going to love this. That's nice and smooth. All right, we're going to, I did notice that there's some, I don't know if that's overspray or what, but I'm going to take a piece of steel wool here. I'm just going to clean that bowl off and make it look nice and shiny. I'm thinking that where I'm seeing that tarnish is probably where that spray paint got, but it's coming right off that chrome bowl, so there you go. All right, and now we'll put that spool back on there. Nope, gotta move that bail out of the way. Applying pressure. Let's see if we can get it off of here too. I don't know if we can or not. Ah, look at that. Yeah, well, I can get some of it off. Very good. All right. Get that in. You heard a nice solid click on that. Let's tighten this down. Fun little reel. There you go. That's working. And just make sure that our bail is working. This is nice, very nice. There's lots of these reels out there. They're not that expensive. If you are interested in one of these, just check your local online markets like eBay and Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist and the like. A lot of these start coming up when folks start cleaning out their closets. Look at that. It takes the little overspray right off the top here. And you'll be able to find them relatively inexpensive. I would say $20 is a fair price for something like this. And now you know how to tune one up, and now you know how it's made. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe, and if you do subscribe, please hit the notifications button so that you can see more of these. If you have any questions about this reel or any reel in particular, leave them in the comments section. I'll be happy to try and answer them for you if I do know the answer. And finally, if you have a reel that needs to be serviced and you don't want to do it yourself, well, if you contact me using the email on the business card that follows, I'll be happy to provide you with that reel repair information. So this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Again, thank you to the first responders. The rest of us, let's do our part. Wear our masks, keep our social distance, get our vaccines, do all those wonderful things, and let's all go fishing. Have a great day.